Now we have another guy that lives in our neighborhood and works in our neighborhood, and he takes care of our neighborhood. It's Captain Chuck Maes of the Chicago Fire Department. He was at the Sox game earlier and won. Thanks to Chuck.
My engineer Tom Dacey's here and his brother-in-law. They're going to be joining tonight. You guys want to step up? He drives around. You know, a lot of people, you see the fire companies out on the street all the time, and I just like to, what do those firemen do? They're in a rig, they go here, they go there. Well, we just don't go to fires anymore, and it keeps us busy. We respond to ALS responses, which is an advanced life support, and then we respond to BLS responses, which is basic life support. We also respond to CO investigations, which is common in a lot of houses down. It's required. Everybody has a CO detector in their house, right? Mm-hmm. And you all have a smoke detector in your house, right? Some people have combos. They both work together. And that's what we respond on a lot, not just fires all the time. And we do all kinds of things in the neighborhood, like you're going to see us out now. We're going to be doing hydrants. We check the hydrants in our neighborhood, in our still areas. What are those firemen open all those fire hydrants open for? Well, we check them. We open them up, we flush them fully, we shut them down, we check the flames, make sure they're working properly because the winter's coming. And when the hydrants are shut off, we make sure that they drain properly, because if they don't drain properly, then in the winter, they'll freeze. And if it's on your block, and we go down there and we don't do our job, when we go to open up your hydrant, if there's a fire, that hydrant's frozen, we can't use it. So we got to go to the next hydrant, and that delays our water supply. So you'll see us on the street, and that's what we do actively. We also check around buildings in the neighborhood, vacant buildings, abandoned buildings. We have to do like target hazards on that, and we send that in to the city, and they get a highlight on that, and the 911 people know who that is. And then we get to find out who the owners are of these buildings, and then if there's something in there, then they could call these people and get something taken care of. Like when I'm driving around a neighborhood and I see graffiti and stuff, I call Al all the time and I try to get that done. Getting back to some of the stuff we do, we're on the street and we're coming down and you hear the sirens going, you're like, Jesus, Well, sometimes a lot of people don't understand, you're supposed to just pull over to the right, nice and easy. A lot of people freeze and they just stop there, Well, I try to talk to my engineer and other people. Not everybody's the same, but they get a little upset. Come on, pull over to the right. We get a little upset too because, we get a response and we're a little bit, we got a fire response. We get a little bit, so sorry if we get a little too horn happy or whatever. We don't mean to be like
it's
that.
It's not often they get a fire.
Yeah. Believe me, there's responses all over, and we get all kinds of stuff all day long. A lot of people have, I would say, what am I thinking about? You have a fire extinguisher in Normandy Park. You guys should look at the manuals on those. You should know how to operate them. I think people buy them and they just assume that they know how to work it. Yeah, you just pull the thing and just boom, you're done. But there is a manual and you should read it. You should know how to work it. And there is a date for that, to be taken out of service. It doesn't last forever. I bought this. I've had it for 10 years now. Really, the CO2 in there will just run out and there'll be no pressure left in that. So, you should update that, check your fire extinguisher. And when you have it in your house, it should be in a location that you know where it's at, if you're going to use it, and know how to get to it. Fire safety in your house. A lot of people have clutter in their house. A lot of people should know how to exit their building. A lot of people live in a one-story or two-story type structure. Some people are in the basement. You should know what to do fire safety-wise. Like call 911. The 911 people here would, you tell them and they call us and we come. But you got to let them know what's going on in your house. So we get a little update on our computer while you're calling. So just don't. I got fire in my house. A lot of times there's just like a stove fire. People get all nervous with a stove fire. And that's really common, especially in this area. And it's usually due to grease and stoves not being cleaned and stuff, and people will turn their stove on and they forgot it didn't go on, they walk away, and all of a sudden, the gas is running, and all of a sudden, boom, they get a big flash, So be conscientious of the gas and stuff in your house. If you do have a problem or a fire in your stove, just be calm, keep your stove closed, turn the heat off, turn off the stove. If it's an electric stove, just unplug it, and then call 911 and we'll come. Don't be afraid. We're not going to be mad at you because it was my mistake, I shouldn't have done that. Don't worry about that. We're coming there to make sure you're okay. That's why we're here. That's why we get paid. So don't be afraid to call us. If your smoke alarm goes off, don't be afraid to call us. If you smell some type of odor in your house that's not the same, like something burning, like wires or something, don't be afraid to call us. We'll come and we'll check it out, make sure you're okay. Probably one of the biggest calls we get now is CO detectors, carbon monoxide. In your house, there's only really 3 things that give off CO, and that's your hot water heater, and if that's ran by gas, most of them are, your furnace, and your stove, okay? So, when the CO thing happened, none of us all kind of knew how this was going to play out, CO detectors shouldn't be really right above your stove, or they shouldn't be right where your furnace is, or it shouldn't be right next to where your hot water heater is, because everything gives off natural CO in your house. With a CO detector, that filter does not get rid of whatever it takes in. Not like a smoke detector, totally different type of filter. So if you have it for a while and it just starts to coagulate, which the filter just gets to a point where it's going to go off, and you might not have a real problem, but it goes off. Don't be afraid to call us. We got a detective. We'll come in and we'll check it out. But locations in your house should be in spots where it's not going to be close to the stove or the kitchen. It should be in a bedroom or a front room or a dining room. Or if it's in the basement, it should be not right next to the furnace, but somewhere in the area, but not readily so by it. Same with the upstairs. But if you call us with a CO problem, call us. I don't care what time it is at night, because that scares a lot of people because they hear what goes on and the CO can kill you. So, call us and we'll come in. We got detectives, we'll check that out. We'll check your flue in the basement, your furnace and all that, make sure you're okay. Anybody got any questions on CO detectors or anything like that? No?
What's coagulate mean?
That's when the filter clogs up and it gets to the point where it can't accept any more CO and it goes off.
I have a question. What do you do with an old fire extinguisher?
You can bring them to the firehouses. We'll get rid of them for you. Okay? Yeah, a lot of people got them. They drive up. People drive up and give me fire extinguishers all the time. Here I got this old fire extinguisher. You can drive and drop it up at the firehouse if you
Okay.
want. We're not like. We just understand the process of CO and how many parts per million is in your house and what's okay and what is bad. We don't build CO detectors. We don't know how it really works. We just know that it tells us that that number is bad, and we come in and we measure for that also. There's certain times when we come in that we might say, you might have to leave the building. You might have to go out of your house, okay? And the other reason why is we have to vent the house because there's so much CO in there. It could be making you sick and you don't even know it. You could be poisoning yourself and you don't even understand why you're being sick. Some people, they get sick right away, some people don't. Sometimes you come in on an ambulance run and it's actually CO related. We don't even know it. We're like, ooh, there's something going on here. There's a lot of people sick in this house. We come in and check it and there's a problem here. So don't be afraid to call if you have a problem with your CO detector. Stay on top of that. Is there any other questions related to CO? Anybody? Nothing? Everybody's good?
All right, Chuck.
Yeah.
How about a big hand for Chuck? We appreciate it. I gotta say, as a community, we're very, very fortunate to have firemen that live in the neighborhood, work in the neighborhood, have policemen policemen that work in the neighborhood, live in the neighborhood. We are very lucky, and I think that they work a little harder. Like Milana says, I know there's about 5 911 people that work there that live in our neighborhood, and when they hear something, they put it out. They want to take it a little quicker, you know. So we're very fortunate as a community. I think people just take that for granted. Okay, real quick. Our next meeting is October 15th, 7:30 at Wentworth Park. I am confirming the 2 aldermen as our speakers, Alderman Quinn and Alderman Burke.